Asta has finally made his comeback in the last Black Clover chapter. Furthermore, my theory about Damnatio and Baal has been confirmed, as well as my Devil Baal theory. I suggested that he would wield a powerful sword because he's a blacksmith in demonology. The last bit of this theory which remains to be seen is Asta taking the sword and claiming it as his own, because, well, that's what Asta tends to do. So let's dive into the new Black Clover chapter review. Chapter kicks off by clarifying that Nero's sealing magic only heals wounds and eases pain up to the present moment. That means the current condition of the Black Bulls is mostly shown on this page. In other words, everyone is nearly dead and it's basically Nero who's keeping them from dying, which is why in the last chapter I suspected it to be a spell similar to Ril's Valhalla. But the situation is a bit more complex than it seems. One might conclude that the Black Bulls escaped death due to this spell because unlike Valhalla, the wounds literally heal. But that doesn't appear to be true upon further reflection. It means that injuries they have already sustained, such as cuts, particularly the ones Gauche and Grey received, will result in consequences like blood loss once the spell is over. Nero has merely ensured they won't die for the time being, not that they will fully recover. There are a few more reasons why some characters simply have to die. First off, there's a possibility that the theory of every deceased character transforming into a paladin might come true, which is the Undying Body spell. In order to save the world, they need to let them all die so that they can then return stronger with undying bodies. These aren't my words, they are Lucius. This is why I developed the zombie apocalypse theory where Jack is the first one to return to life. Hence, at some point it's likely that a Black Bull will die as well and turn against their comrades. Secondly, Sacre's spell appears to be a last resort, given that it was activated only when everyone was near death, not at the start of the fight. So it might indeed be a forbidden spell as I've predicted last time, or at least one that could affect Sacre once it's undone. It could be something like Sacre receiving all the injuries, but she didn't share this detail because she knew others would refuse. Therefore, if she manages to save everyone in some way, she might be the one to become a paladin. This could greatly advance the story of my theory about Sacre. Keeping a significant secret is correct. Given the fact that she's been observing the grimoire for the past 500 years, she must have seen everything, including how Lucifero killed Lysita and much more, such as who handed the grimoire to Lysita, who moved the grimoire to the grimoire tower, and who hid the sword in the dungeon, among many other things. Particularly because Tabata once again mentioned the 500-year fact in this chapter, reminding us of this detail as was done in the movie where it was also highlighted. Now you'll know that I seem to have a knack for predicting Tabata's move. I understand his style so well that I also know he tends to revisit plot points right before introducing a significant twist. So here's what I think. If Sacre used that spell only when everyone was on the brink of death, it might be because the spell could lead to her death. Then if my zombie apocalypse theory also holds true, she could turn into a paladin, and being a paladin, she would likely speak freely about everything without any barriers to prevent her from expressing herself. This could be a spell from Astaroth, or perhaps a moral code that kept her silent. If that's the case, she will likely reveal this too. That's roughly my idea. However, we have to remember one crucial point. Even if Sacre is on the edge of death, and even if Gauche and Grey are as good as already dead, we shouldn't overlook the healing powers of the Witch Queen. Her blood magic is incredibly potent, seemingly stronger than Vanika's. We have seen that she's a remarkable healer, able to restore body parts and even internal organs, cure ancient curses and deadly disease, and even grant a form of immortality, at least when it comes to aging. She sustains her own life using her blood. These are some abilities that even Mimosa can't replicate, even with the use of ultimate magic. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Witch Queen could even bring people back to life to some extent, as long as they haven't been dead for long. So what I'm trying to say is that even though the Witch Queen isn't a traditional healer, she outdoes the best healers in the entire series. Just think about how powerful the Witch Queen truly is. Remember, we haven't seen her fight seriously yet. I'm confident she's on par with the Wizard Queen. She bravely fought Vanessa, but the fight ended when the cat touched the Witch Queen's forehead, altering her destiny from enemy to an ally apparently. Honestly, I would like her to become a paladin because she would easily rank among the top 5 strongest characters in the series, depending on if and which devil she acquires. In a nutshell, as long as the Witch Queen is present, it's reasonable to think she could rescue everyone, especially now that Asta has also arrived. As the battle rages on, it's revealed that Damnatio is indeed wielding the power of the purified devil soul of the supreme Devil Baal with atmospheric magic. It seems to be a mix between wind and spatial or space magic, something like that. You all know my thoughts on this already. The only reason I'm not fond on the idea that Asta will get this sword is because the sword closely resembles a paladin sword. Sure, it's adapted to the paladin power, so it could also adapt to Asta and is anti-magic. However, since Baal is a blacksmith, he might have many more swords. A devil sword is what Asta really needs, so there could be a far superior sword that he will summon when the battle against Asta begins, likely in the next chapter. That will confirm another theory, which is that Asta will be the one to defeat Baal in a sword versus sword fight. They could even make some kind of deal, the winner gets the sword of the other or something similar. Or maybe Baal will recognize Asta's swords. All this suggests that there's a slightly higher chance that Belphegor could be connected to Yami and Asmodeus could be the devil of Morris. Anyway, the fight is pretty one-sided, showing just how incredible the purified power of a supreme devil is. Even skilled individuals like Clark can't compete with someone like Baal. And keep in mind, Baal is far from the most powerful devil. This mainly serves to highlight how much stronger Asta is compared to anyone else. However, if Asta struggles a bit more against Baal than he did against Beelzebub Lily, it will more or less confirm that Beelzebub stored his power inside Xenon's soul after they made the pact. This suggests that Beelzebub knew about Lucia's plan and therefore has a plan of his own. What's intriguing is that in demonology, Beelzebub is the second most powerful devil in the underworld and second in command after Lucifero. But Beelzebub has his own group of highly powerful devils who obey his orders. It's called the Order of the Fly. One of the top devils of this order is Adramelech, known for his loyalty to Beelzebub. And Adramelech betrayed Lucifero. He not only did that, he also showed disrespect as if Lucifero deserved it. As if he's a bad leader. If Adramelech doesn't respect him, there are likely many other devils who feel the same. And there's likely a reason. These devils may not even want to fight against humans anymore. Remember, not all devils are evil. And Tabata has already done something like this when the elves suddenly became allies. All the underworld needs is a good leader, and I think Liebe would be a great choice. So I'm increasingly feeling that the devils might just be tricking Lucius. They may be aiming to gain angelic power by becoming paladins first, and then step up as the true main villains. We need to keep in mind that the paladin form could essentially be a discount version of a real angel. Picture some devils transforming into real angels, destroying Lucius and bringing true hell to earth. A real judgment day. I could even see Lucius temporarily siding with humans simply because these angels would be far more powerful than paladins. Lucius at least wants to rule the world, the devils want to destroy it. In order to win this war, Lucius first needs to defeat the angels before turning his attention back to humans. This isn't beyond the realms of possibility. Especially since in such a scenario, the angels could just kill everyone and they would anyway resurrect as paladins. Something along these lines could occur. Alternatively, the devils could be tired of the constant fight and have tricked Lucifero by pretending to side with Lucius, all the while having a plan in mind to take back control, maybe with the help of Astaroth. If the devils can regain their control and join the fight against the paladins, this could be the moment when some of them might even redeem themselves and transform into real angels. In this case, of course, angels shouldn't be stronger than paladins. Another devil in a high position within Beelzebub's Order of the Fly is Astaroth. That's also pretty suspicious. In demonology, Lucifero is not part of the Order of the Fly, but purposely lets Beelzebub have control. It's easy to imagine a plot where Beelzebub tries to overthrow Lucifero, so maybe Tabata is planning exactly that. Whether Beelzebub is good or evil, because not all devils are evil. Remember, Beelzebub even promised Xenon that he would protect the Spade Kingdom in exchange for his soul. That's a devil pact. A devil must keep their end of the bargain, otherwise they either die or something else happens. So Beelzebub might really have other intentions in mind, maybe even creating a devil kingdom on Earth. And even though, for example, Lilith and Nama seem to be purely evil and Megicula too, it doesn't mean that they all are. And that pretty much sums it up, but there's one last thing. We saw Magna try to use a Soul Chain Deathmatch on Damnatio, but it didn't work. So he hasn't used it yet, meaning he still has one ready. A failed attempt probably doesn't count as a real one. So we're likely to see Magna go up against a worthy opponent. Maybe he will even use luck to share mana. Something wild is bound to happen. It would be even wilder if Magna were to turn into a paladin and use the Soul Chain Deathmatch on luck. And it would be even the wildest thing yet if Luck turned into a paladin and Magna used the Soul Chain Deathmatch on him to finally defeat his rival. I mean, it kinda was foreshadowed. By the chapter's end, Asta shows up, acting like the captain of the Black Bulls. Now it's all over for Damnatio and Baal. It seems like a one-hit attack is coming unless, as I have said before, Beelzebub wasn't at full strength when Sister Lily used his soul, because Beelzebub is much stronger than Baal. So what do you think of my Black Clover Chapter review and the new Black Clover Chapter? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, then please leave a like, and if you want to see more Black Clover content, then subscribe to this channel with the notification bell activated. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.